Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and I'm very pleased this afternoon to be with Fortinet, who is our newest global industry partner, and also with Court Radke, the CISO for retail. So welcome, Court.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
The big enterprise guys, as you pointed on, the ones with the franchise environment, I think they understood the importance of this. And they had a lot of technologies in place. I mean, you were talking about a whole slew of technologies that you put in your last position. But, you know, the small to medium operators didn't have all the technologies in place. And sometimes spending money on data security and firewalls and things like that are secondary, or they assume they're getting it from whoever's providing their high-speed access or something, right? So now you have the last 2 to 3 months, and they had to throw in a bunch of technologies at the last minute that they might not have had that are connecting them to the outside world. You've mentioned contactless, delivery if they didn't have delivery. Maybe they didn't even have online ordering, right? And they have to throw them together. So what happened? Are people now going to did they just throw them in and they weren't thinking about it? And now they have the need and they're going to come to the realization, hey, wait a minute, I got to do something here. Or, was the general industry sort of protected and they were able to throw the things in seamlessly? I mean, what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, it's, as you said, those that already had forethought into it and already been deploying those technologies, hopefully they had a plan. We would hope that these technologies weren't just thrown out there, but unfortunately, some of them were to fill a need, right? And I think what we're in right now is they solved the problem quickly and they were able to service customers, but now they're taking a step back and evaluating who did I give my keys to, what technology have I deployed, and is this part of my long-term strategy going forward? Luckily, a lot of the technology, and this is one thing that Fortinet prides ourselves on, is you can do a whole lot more with your product than you think you can. It's normally the 20% utilized and you have 80% of the space left to use and turn on features and enable your remote workforce or enable these new technologies to be implemented. So the putting in these technologies in advance allows you to scale for these types of events. But these small businesses a lot of times had to partner with somebody else or throw in technologies, and we'll probably see a good chunk of that be taken out.
And they can't possibly know if they partnered with somebody else, whether they may have made the assumption that the protection was there. So, let's make the assumption that they may not be aware or they didn't know what they didn't know. But they did do, as you just said, what they needed to do to survive, during a very difficult period of time. So besides getting the word out through the IFBTA, what advice would you give to somebody who is unsure where they really are right now? What should they be doing? Are there some really simple steps to assess their current situation and then how to go ahead and mitigate their risk and put something in place, and perhaps something that Fortinet is going to actually have as a package or something for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we, Fortinet, have a cyber risk threat assessment program that's free for customers, and you can leverage it yourself or through partners. And there's other companies out there that have those as well. Obviously, we would love to be partnered with anybody and secure these companies out there, but I think it's just best for companies to do an assessment, continuously update their risk assessment, have a robust cybersecurity maturity framework. And we provide that. Other companies provide that. And one of the biggest things to leverage is partners that are out there, trusted partners that you may have, or there's a lot of them that are out there that are integrators of cybersecurity technology and network. As you said earlier, a lot of companies may have trusted that their ISPs were providing security or that cloud was providing security. I think that's a danger in thinking that some of these have inherent security. There's always more that goes along with it. So having some due diligence there and making sure that you're asking if your partners are up to the same cybersecurity maturity as you are, using companies like Fortinet to run our cybersecurity maturity assessments, or others that are out there.
So how do they actually access those assessments? You said they're free, so how do they go ahead and they access that?
Yeah, so we have a site, Fortinet.com/retail, or you can go to Fortinet.com and look up Cyber Threat Assessment Program. A lot of times these are leveraged through partners, but as I said, a customer can reach out and schedule one of those programs as well. Essentially, it's throwing a box out there, scanning the network, providing a robust report of bottlenecks, gaps, security challenges that you may have, and at least gives you a snapshot of some of the things that you may be able to fix quickly, or some of the things that you maybe need to do some work on.
Now, you've mentioned partners now a few times. So what kind of partners do you guys have?
Well, we pride ourselves on having a very large partner network. So most of the large ISPs, MSPs, MSSPs out there, we partner with. We have a large partner network. We only sell through partners. So to leverage our technology, you're going to be working with a partner or an integrator or a reseller. So we, much like a lot of the other companies out there, pride ourselves on having a big partner network. And they're really a lot of the backbone of what we do. And we make sure that they're trained up, specialized in our technology, and are able to sell it and integrate it effectively.
Well, and that actually, in our industry, really gives a comfort level to the operator because, as you've just said, you're not selling directly, so you're selling through partners, but that partner should have a relationship, whether it's geographic, whether it's industry vertical, should have a relationship with them so that they're meeting the needs of who the customer is as well, which is why somebody's going to contract with them.
Absolutely. I mean, we know that we're broad, integrated, and automated, but we don't solve every challenge for a customer. We'd like to, but we don't solve every challenge. So we know that by them working with partners, they can fit their entire enterprise need, and that we're a part of the portfolio for many, if not most, of all of the major partners out there.
Are most of the partners ISPs, or do you actually have? Do you also have partners who are offering cloud-based applications and things that might take a component in there?
So one of the biggest things that Fortinet have, it's called a partner-ready network. And not only the companies that deploy our technologies, install it, support it, that you can get as part of a managed service, we have hundreds of different partner integrations out there that we either write directly to them, open up our infrastructure so that they can write to us, or we have an open API ecosystem where customers and other partners alike can write into our environment to, again, tailor make solutions to fit their need. So we have a lot of first party, third party, and open.
It actually gives them the flexibility, right? If they're choosing best of breed versus all-in-one types of applications and solutions, it actually gives them the opportunity to pick and choose, but still have it flow through.
Yeah, they solve their problems their way. We have a solution that we think fits a lot of the need, but not all of them. Again, so we like to provide customers and partners the flexibility to meet the solutions their own way.
Now, in the restaurant industry, as people grow, they start thinking franchising.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in your previous life, you had to deal with franchising, and that's probably one of the hardest things sometimes for the franchisor to mandate or to get in place with a franchisee. How do you see the franchisor franchisee environment? How do you simplify that? Is there a selling point to getting the franchisee to buy in, some sort of secret piece to that?
I think what we talk about a lot is the fabric, the Fortinet security fabric, which allows you to one, make the best use of your existing Fortinet investments and be able to expand that environment and get a lot better return on investment. However, what it also does is allows you to make use of existing investments. So you don't have to go rip and replace everything you have. Maybe you're in year one of a 5-year contract and you just can't do it right now. Mm-hmm. But our technologies will allow you to integrate with and still have a good return on investment for existing technologies. And that's huge in the franchisee space, who maybe doesn't have that financial flexibility if they've made a long-term deal or that they have some mandates from corporate and they're doing some on their own.
To get it packaged in, perhaps.
Absolutely.
The IFBTA is very appreciative of the support and confidence and partnership that Fortinet has put in joining us as a global industry partner. And Cord, I really want to thank you for your time today to introduce us officially as a member of the IFBTA, and also to explain a little bit more of the vision of the company, what you offer to the industry, but actually your own personal experience having made the transition from being an operator, being on the other side of supporting the operators in the industry. So welcome to the IFBTA, and thank you so much for your support and your time today to chat with us.
Absolutely, Rob. Thank you for having me.
Great. Rob Grimes with the IFBTA and with our global industry partner, Fortinet.